Hi there, it's Robin with SeniorSafetyAdvice.com. You know, it's been right at 18 months since the U.S. went into lockdown because of COVID, and travel stopped and cruises stopped and all of those fun things that all of us enjoy. But as you know, cruises have recently started up again, and my husband and I just took our very first Alaskan cruise a couple of weeks ago, so I thought it would be great to share the safety protocols that the ships are putting in place to keep you safe. Honestly, we felt safer, I think, on the ship than we do in our real life. So come on with me and I will show you all of the new things that they have in place. Let's start with air travel. The airlines have been flying all through the pandemic and they've got it down pretty well. They want everybody to wear a mask that covers your nose and your mouth, goes under your chin. They make numerous announcements about that. You have to keep the mask on the whole time, as you can see, even when deplaning, except for when you're eating or drinking. Airports are the same. You can see everybody there is in a mask, even on the train. Now, as far as the ship goes, we were on Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas out of Seattle, and they were sailing at about 50% capacity, as you can see here in this bar scene. I mean, when have you ever seen a bar this empty? So they encourage a lot of social distancing. Again, you can see how empty it is. This is where they were playing live music in the center of the ship, and 50% capacity. We had 920 people on our ship and 0 COVID cases by the end. They do require you to be vaccinated. We had 5% unvaccinated on the ship as a maximum, and that was all the children who were unable to be vaccinated. So when on, they give you a pamphlet about COVID symptoms and things that you need to know about if you get sick. They also provided us with masks and hand sanitizer. We had to provide a negative COVID test to be able to get on board. And then once we did that and showed our vaccine card, we got this royal bracelet, which designated that we were vaccinated. We could only go to certain places. Unvaccinated could only go to certain places. They also gave us a tracelet, which is this little bracelet that you see. It looks kind of like a watch. It's very light, but it's for contact tracing, and you had to wear it everywhere on the ship. They checked for it a lot. That way, if somebody came down with COVID, they would know who was close to them, and they would be able to trace them. So they give you a cruise compass, which is your activity list for the day. It's hard to see here. Sorry, I didn't think about turning it the other way, but each of the activities has a bolded designation at the end of it as to whether it's for vaccinated people or for everyone. Certain parts of the ship were off limit to unvaccinated. Only 4 people in the elevator or your group. They were really, really big on social distancing, and they definitely enforced it. There was somebody who was confined to the cabin because he kept violating the social distancing and wouldn't wear a mask in public spaces. So as you can see, they have tables reserved. It says for physical distancing. It's to make sure that you're not sitting one on top of the other like you would on a traditional cruise ship. So like there you can see at the bar that seats are empty, and then they have the signs on the other ones so that nobody sits in them, so you're not too close. They even had signs on the bathrooms showing the capacity of the bathroom, and people were very good about adhering to that and waiting outside if there were more than the certain amount in the bathroom. They had hand sanitizing stations everywhere, reminders to wear the face mask. I mean, there were just so many signs and so many stations. They're very big on sanitizing. As you can see, they shut down the dining areas and they would sanitize. Also, the tables, when you would get up, there was somebody who was walking around who had a sanitization kit, and he was making sure that everything was taken care of. Now, the deck was a mask-free zone because it was outside. So it was nice because you could go outside and enjoy it without a mask if you wanted to, or you could wear one. But once you decided to go back inside, there were the signs, face masks on, because they want everybody in common areas to have the mask. In the dining areas, they had only vaccinated guests on the one floor, and then unvaccinated, like again, the children, families that had unvaccinated kids, they were up on that second floor, which you'll see in a second. And you can also see how empty it was and the social distancing even between the tables in the dining rooms. When you went into the buffet, they swiped your CPAS card in, and then they swiped it when you went back out. This again was for contact tracing so that they knew you had been in and who else had been in there too. Buffet, very empty as you can see. Social distance tables again. You cannot pick your own stuff up. You have to get your plate and your silverware from an employee. They had a grab and go station like this at the very front of the buffet, but other than that, everything else, a staff member was handing you your food. I love this. I hope they keep this after the pandemic. In the theater, not so much for social distancing. They kept making announcements about that, but it didn't work very well, I didn't think. But the bottom floor like that was for the vaccinated and the top floor was unvaccinated. So anyway, I've now run over into my actual travel video. I thought that maybe you would like to see some of the scenes of where we went. To me, traveling like this, even though it was kind of a pain having to provide a negative test and a vaccine card and all the things we don't normally have to do, at least we were able to cruise and get to see Alaska. This was our first trip there and something I think everybody should see. So this is Mendenhall Glacier in Nugget Falls outside of Juneau. It was absolutely beautiful. It was worth all of the hoops that we had to jump through. One thing I forgot to mention, the muster drill is now, that everybody hates on a cruise ship, is now virtual. So that meant all we did was watch 3 videos about how to put on a life jacket and what the horn would sound like if we were having an emergency, and then we just went to our station and checked in with a staff member to show that we had completed it, and that was it. Something else that I hope they'll keep again, or keep after the pandemic. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We give tips and tricks on aging in place safely, and we hope that you will continue to follow us. Thank you so much. Travel safely, get back on those cruise ships, and enjoy everything.